on behalf of our graduates, our faculty and staff members and students, I want to welcome you to our band family in the 22nd season of the University of Virginia's Cavalier Marching Band. My name is Dr. Elliot Tackett, and I'm entering my 5th year as the Director of Bands here at the University of Virginia. So with me, my colleagues Drew Cook, Mike Idzior, and Brandon West, the 4 of us oversee the band program here at UVA that services about 300 students annually from over 60 different academic areas of study. Trust and respect are cornerstone elements of our program. We will always extend trust and respect to your students, our members. We want the band program, the band building, and our rehearsals and performances to be a place where they feel welcome, like they have a place here. So I can tell you with confidence that there will be no hazing, mistreatment, or violation of the student code of conduct of any kind. And the purpose of tonight's meeting is to introduce you a little bit to our program in more detail and help you prepare for the upcoming band camp and, of course, season through the lens of being a brand new college ACC band parent. So we'll start with a quick overview of our program. The Wind Ensemble meets on Monday evenings during the fall and spring semester, performs grades 4 through 5 repertoire, and gives 1 concert per semester. The Concert Band meets in the spring only. It's a non-auditioned ensemble and gives 1 concert the last week of classes in April. The Athletic Band, which is kind of our catch-all term, begins performances late October through early November and performs through April at a variety of events. If you attended Days on the Lawn with your future Who this past April, you likely saw the Athletic Band perform on the lawn. That band also performs at men's and women's basketball games, and the Olympic sport events throughout the fall and spring. So if you follow UVA women's swimming, you know that we annually have a couple of Olympians in the pool. Pretty cool that your students get a chance to play for them at the Aquatic Fitness Center. And then, of course, you have the Cavalier Marching Band, which meets each fall and performs at all home games, depending on the year we do travel. Last year, we traveled to Virginia Tech and to Notre Dame. And the Cavalier Marching Band also performs at a few tailgates and other community events throughout the fall. So overall, our program serves about 300 students annually with over 80 performances each year. We definitely stay busy, and we love that about our jobs. Let's talk about the Virginia Band faculty and staff. So I've already introduced myself. My colleagues Drew Cook, Mike Idzior, and Brandon West are here as well. I will say this time and time again. I have the best colleagues in the business and on grounds. These gentlemen get up every single day and they come to work. They're very, very dedicated, and their work is all geared toward making sure that your students have the best experience possible in our band program. We also, the 4 of us, try to make things as turnkey as possible for your students so they don't have to worry about all the things that professional band directors worry about. And they can just show up and focus on having fun with their peers. In addition to those gentlemen and myself, we have a couple of twirling coaches, Victoria Proscia and Spencer Fineart, both of whom are alums of our program. Joining us this year in a more official capacity is Brandon Block, our color guard coach, who as of today is officially also serving as the music department's manager, which is very exciting. Caitlin Roop is our fiscal assistant and special events coordinator. So your students will get a lot of emails from Caitlin asking them to fill out meal forms and communicating various other items around things like band day. So Caitlin's an integral part of our team, and she's just a wonderful human to be around. So really excited to have her continue to be involved in the band program. We also have a creative team of arrangers, drill writers, and choreographers who help to craft our halftime show performances. These are absolute professionals in their fields who have written extensively for college marching bands and drum corps around the country. We also have a game day staff of program graduates who are essential to our success. Despite everybody whose names you see here, we can't do it all. We still need more help on game days. And that's where our game day staff comes in and really saves the day. They do everything from loading trucks to setting up drum major podiums, to handing out meals to the band, to throwing away trash. We are very grateful for all that they do for the band. We just can't be successful in game days without their help. So when you come to a UVA football game and you see them, just know that they're there doing their best to ensure that your students have a great time. Let's talk a little bit more about the band student leadership team. And I want to mention this not only so you know this year who we have entrusted from the student population to help your new marcher be successful, but this is also the same framework that your students in the future will be able to fill in if they're interested in a leadership position. So our band's success is due in large part to the members themselves that are in the band, and they're led by a robust student leadership team. Cavalier Marching Band has 5 drum majors this year who are 3rd and 4th year students. They have the greatest amount of responsibility in the band, and they hold the highest positions on our leadership team, which is probably very true for you at your high school, at your students' high school as well. They can help teach your students drill. They can help them learn their music, and they're a crucial part of our success in rehearsals. They really help set and maintain the tone on the field and in the stands. So your students should know that they can lean on them. They can get to know them, obviously, as people, drum majors, and just trust me when I say that they're all incredible people who are here to help your students be successful. Going forward, each woodwind and brass section has between 1 to 2 leaders or captains, depending on the section. Your students' section leaders are nominated by their section leadership team and are top of the section in terms of responsibility and hierarchy. So they oversee things like section standards, whether it's marching quality or music quality or choreography quality. They also help oversee culture and communication. You know, that first game coming up, it's a 6 o'clock game. We have a really relaxed 1 p.m. start time to rehearsal that day. There are going to be games that start at noon, and we are in rehearsal at 7. And if you're a twirler, that means that you're up between 4:30 and 5 working on hair, makeup, and costume. And then somewhere between 4:30 and we'll say 6:50, alarms start going off, right? And the idea is that it's those section leaders or captains who are sending out the texts, helping to ensure that the entire section is accounted for and everybody is ready to go for rehearsal. Each section also has between 1 and 6 drill leaders, what we call DLs. Their DLs will teach them how the CMB marches during band camp, but the DLs are also model marchers that serve as great examples for everyone. They also help design and teach visuals when we're in the stands and on the field. They also have music leaders. So these are the people who on the music side are helping your marcher prepare musically for their performance. We call them MLs. They will provide music to your marcher that's actually marked with all the drill moves, the drill counts, and the visuals information. So we realize that there's a lot of information. We move very, very quickly, and the music leaders help out by preparing everyone's music and then providing it as a PDF. So all your marcher as a first year member has to do is take that PDF, hit print, come to rehearsal. It's that easy. In the drum line, we have one captain who oversees the entire drum line's readiness for performance and is integral to our success in rehearsals and performances in concert with Mr. West. He's assisted this year by our drumline section leaders, one on each segment, obviously, who run drumline segment sectionals and also make musical recommendations in rehearsals as well. Our color guard captains, we have 3 of them this year, and our twirler captains, we have 2, oversee their section's readiness for performance. They teach and clean choreography, and they make uniform, hair, and makeup recommendations, and also set the standards for their sections. Also send out a lot of those reminder texts and emails to make sure that everyone's on the same page. In addition to helping your members get ready for game day, all of these on-field leaders are invaluable resources for your members on all sorts of topics, from school to life in general to where do I go to wash my clothes in this particular dorm, and when should I figure out to try to eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner with my very, very busy schedule. They are trustworthy, dependable, and kind people. I can tell you that we have a robust leadership application process that literally runs from about early February through late April. And we take into account recommendations from their peers based on submissions of marching, teaching, and musical performance videos that they send in. Your marchers can definitely trust these people who are elevated to leadership positions. Use them, recommend that your student use them as a resource. We also have members who serve the band on logistical crews, and we'll go through these positions next. And by the way, if your marcher as a first-year CMB member is interested in getting involved, they can join one of these crews as early as this fall. So first, the uniform crew. We dry clean our uniforms after each game. It's different at every single school, but we're fortunate to be able to provide clean uniforms at the beginning of every single game. And the U crew rebuilds and reorganizes all of the uniform bags for every single game day. And they work under a tight timeline, and they do very, very good work. So your student will look great at each game because of the work that the U crew has done. We're always happy to have more help on U crew. Our systems and operations chair works with a small volunteer group to gather members' anonymous suggestions for how our leadership and the directors can improve your band members' experience. You may follow us on Instagram right now. We have a social media committee that's run by co-chairs and Mr. West, who share information like game day schedules and reminders. Don't forget to ... and highlight band activities on all of our various social media platforms. They also write portions of our fall newsletter that goes out to around 3,000 people. You may, from your high school band experience, have heard of flip folders. We use flip folders here at UVA. And we actually have brand new flip folders that we're providing to every WIND member next week. The flip folder librarians maintain those flip folders. So if, for example, your marching band member loses a page, there's a form that they can fill out saying, hey, I need page 14. Could you print it, laminate it, cut it for me, punch the holes, and hand it to me at the next rehearsal? They take care of our marchers in that regard. The band day crew is usually around 25 to 30 members strong. If you don't have experience with UVA band day, think about like it's basically an opportunity for students grades 9 through 12 to come to UVA for a day and just experience what it's like to be a Cavalier marching band member, which means they're going to go to rehearsal, they're going to eat a meal with us, a pregame meal with us. They're going to sit with the band and play with them in the stands, and they're going to play the halftime show. So it's a really, really busy day. We have to make sure that we have enough liaisons to help with the high school students. So we have band members who step up and say, hey, I want to be on the band day crew and really, really help ensure that those students have a great experience. This year, band day is on November 8th. We expect this year, just like previous years, to have between 250 and 300 guests, which means if you're coming to that game on November 8th, you will see about 550 to 600 potentially band members performing our Heroes Appreciation Show. It's a really exciting show. The band banquet crew does exactly what you would think. They organize, they plan, and execute our end of year CMB celebration with snacks, awards, and other special announcements. And then finally, our many equipment crews that keep things running. Color guard crew ensures that all equipment is taped and ready for use. Drumline crew oversees the drumline equipment for readiness, lets Mr. West know if something's broken or missing. The game day crew builds section 104 in the stadium for the band's use on game day. So I just want to pause for a moment and talk about what that 3 hours of game day looks like, especially because you may be coming from a cooler climate knowing that you're going to have a marching band member in full uniform on August 30th in the sun. How are we taking care of your marching band member? We provide them with ice down water. We provide them with ice down Gatorade. We have locally sourced apples. We have vegan protein cookies that are available for the students in the stands, so that they have the best opportunity possible to feel like they're hydrated, that they have the calories they need to be successful on game day. Fortunately, we can't do anything about the sun, but we also provide earplugs that, band is loud, folks, right? We all know that for sure. So we definitely do our best to prepare your marchers for a very busy and engaged 3 hours. But it's that game day crew that comes in on Fridays between like 12 and 2, and we set out speakers, cables, everything I just mentioned to make sure that your marchers can just go right up in the stands and they have what they need. All right. I want to talk to you a little bit about the expectations that we have for all members of the CMB. And I shared this with the new members last night, and I'll share this with you as well. So you know what our pillars of expectations are. First and foremost, professionalism. You have invested a lot of love and time and money in making sure that your son or daughter is coming to one of the best universities in the country. They are coming here first and foremost to prepare to be professionals in whatever area they choose. So that means that we also want them to execute their duties as a Cavalier Marching Band member with a sense of professionalism. Cavalier Marching Band members act as ambassadors for themselves, our organization, and the university. So I mentioned to them last night what any one member does or says, and this is true for directors as well, has the potential to reflect positively or negatively on the band as a whole. So we always want to keep that sense of professionalism and being great model citizens in mind. Second, respect. Members should afford everyone respect and compassion. And it's fair for your members in the marching band to expect to receive respect and compassion from others. Respect starts with each band member being the first to extend that respect to someone else. Third, inclusivity. Our members accept others based on how they define themselves today. They trust that they will be included in the band no matter how they define themselves, what their hobbies or their passions are. Four, we ask that all members put in the work. That means something different to everyone. But to us, it means that rehearsals and game days are high intensity, and we expect everyone to show up and give their best. It requires heightened focus. The band's success is based on the band's preparation before rehearsal and during rehearsal. We will never perform better than we practice, so we always want to make sure that we're bringing our best and putting in the work at rehearsal. We ask that they adhere to the CMB's rehearsal and performance standards. The section leaders, the music leaders, and the drill leaders will always be there to model those performance standards and to remind people, if needed, what those standards are. The CMB moves very quickly to accomplish our goals each week. We do this by listening critically in rehearsal and performing every single assignment accurately. We avoid excessive or unhelpful talking. And cell phones, which we all have, are really only used to reference drill or music assignments. Everyone is expected to come prepared with necessary equipment. The last two, attend all scheduled events. These include our regular Tuesday and Thursday rehearsals, our Friday night dress rehearsals, excuse me, and game day rehearsals and performances. And then lastly, we expect that all Cavalier Marching Band members follow the leaders, right? Our leaders have experienced multiple CMB seasons, and your student can trust that our leadership guidance comes from a place of goodwill and experience. They are our standard bearers, and they know what we as directors expect of the CMB. Okay, let's talk about the season, the Cavalier Marching Band's 22nd season. August band camp is a full week, it's 7 days. Everyone moves into their dorms on Friday, August 15th, and by Friday, August 22nd, your members will have learned our 12-minute pregame show, approximately 35 songs of music and choreography, and we'll have learned half of our first halftime show. They'll have also made a lot of friends, had a lot of fun. They're probably going to be pretty tired and become very familiar with our program. We have 7 home games this year and 1 planned exhibition. Our halftime show design committee put together 7 exciting halftime shows for us to perform this fall, and you can see them here on the screen. Show number 1 is called Glitter, Glam, and Gaga. Show number 2 is called Movers and Shakers, which is celebrating the 75th anniversary of Gregory Swanson's enrollment at UVA as the first Black student here. Show number 3 is called La Vida es un Carnaval. We are hosting not only the Boston Brass, which is a virtuosic brass quintet, but also the U.S. Army Brass Quintet is coming back for a total of 10 guest artists who will be amplified from the home sideline. Show number 4 is called CMB After Dark. That is not a 1-week show, that is a 6-day show. That means that we have rehearsal on Tuesday, rehearsal on Thursday, and a game on Friday. So we're really looking forward to that. The students will be putting basically some of our our favorite stand tunes on the field. Show number 5, we are so excited to perform. I just want to tell you a little bit about this because it's shaping up to be really special. The show is called The Dragon with Small Wings, and the show is inspired by an original story written by an 8-year-old girl named Emmy Berry. Emmy is the younger sister of one of our band members in the trumpet section, but much more importantly than that, she's an incredible human being who, in her first week of life, had life-saving heart surgery at UVA Health Children's. This show is all about making Emmy's dreams come true, to take a story that she wrote, pair it with original music based on her story. We're actually going to have elements of her story narrated live during the show. Really excited about this. We met with the Berries last weekend, had a lovely interview with them, interviewed her cardiologists a couple weeks ago. So there will be an intro video to that show that explains what everyone is going to see. And it's timed well in that it's going to be performed during homecomings. So a lot of you will probably be planning to come to Charlottesville anyway to see your marcher. You'll have a chance to see a really, really special halftime show. Show number 6, which is Band Day, is our Heroes Appreciation Show. This is one of our most popular halftime shows. Think of it like a picture show where we are putting pictures on the field that correspond to various armed services hymns. So, you're going to hear Anchors Away for the Navy as you see a boat go by. You're going to see a plane go by, and we'll have fire extinguishers kind of blowing exhaust out the back of the plane, while you hear an audio file that accompanies that show with clips of famous speeches from presidents, and you'll actually hear tanks rolling and you'll hear planes flying. It's a really exciting show. And then the last show is called Who's Take Flight. And again, all of these shows are possible and were dreamed up by the Halftime Show Design Committee of students that meet with me throughout the spring. And I just want to take a moment to tell you about that committee. I think it was somewhere between 12 and 15 students on average that met with me over the spring. And what they do is they sit down for a couple of meetings, and they come up with great theme ideas. And then the next thing they do is they pull the band and they say, which of these themes are catching traction with you guys? And here are some of the songs that we have in mind. And then the band votes, and we take those votes and we kind of see where the band's interests are, and then we further flesh out those particular shows. So it was really exciting to see that Movers and Shakers and The Dragon with Small Wings consistently was voted as highest. So we're really excited to bring those to the field this fall. Let's talk about Thanksgiving weekend for a moment. Thanksgiving weekend, or I should say the whole week, is a little bit different every year. This particular fall, the week of Thanksgiving is followed by that UVA and Virginia Tech game, like it is every year, and our schedule that week will always depend on if we are hosting or traveling to Blacksburg, as well as how much time we have to learn that last halftime show. So Who's Take Flight? This year we have 2 weeks to learn the halftime show that's being performed on November 29th. And that's before we get to Thanksgiving week. So that's a lot of time for us, actually. So because of that prolonged amount of time, we will not hold a Tuesday, a Thursday, or a Friday rehearsal the week of Thanksgiving. Instead, we will have a longer game day rehearsal on Saturday that everyone is expected to attend, especially because we'll go about 9 days between the last rehearsal and the actual game day. We want to make sure that everyone feels ready. Let's talk about student IDs for a moment. Your student's student ID is their dorm key, it's their meal key. It's really important that they have it when they arrive to grounds. Now, 99% of your students should have already received their student ID as they've gone through orientation this past July. Now, the one exception could be that your student is planning to participate in orientation session K, especially if your student is an out-of-state student. I've had a chance to talk to the students as of yesterday, but I will say this: if you know that your student is an orientation K student, they have orientation next week, have them email us at bands@virginia.edu so it's on our radar that they will need to step out of band camp and fulfill their orientation responsibilities, okay? If for some reason they do not have a student ID right now, and that includes those folks who are in orientation session K, they or you should contact the Cavalier card office tomorrow morning. Set up an appointment to go in the morning of Friday, August 15th, so that they can have their card before they need to check in at their dorm. Once they have their card, they'll be able to move into their dorm. But if the dorm is locked and they don't have a card, they won't have a way to get in. All right, next, keeping up with the CMB, the live schedule. So we communicate schedule information through a Google Doc that we call the live schedule. Now, as a parent, it's completely optional for you to keep up with the band schedule, but you can if you'd like to know what they're up to. If you do want to know, snap the QR code on the screen. My suggestion is that you bookmark the schedules on your phone tonight if you want to follow along, and it'll be very helpful for you to have the rest of the season or potentially for the next 4 years, because the Google Doc is always the same. The link never changes. It's currently showing all of the information that's needed from August 11th to the 22nd. I think it's like 45 pages right now. And once camp is over, we'll pull all that information out and we'll update the live schedule with the schedule for the first week of classes. All right, so one of the points that the drum majors brought up, I was asking them on Monday, I said, put yourselves in the shoes of a brand new CMB parent. What sorts of things do you need or want to hear from the directors at this new parent meeting? And one of them had a great point. They said, what does band cost? So I wanted to cover a little bit of that right now with you all. We can appreciate concerns that you may have about potential costs related to the Cavalier Marching Band, especially as your marching band member has friends who are going off and maybe marching in other college marching bands, and everyone is a little bit different. The band here provides a lot to students at no cost. We provide uniforms. That's the summer and the game day uniform, which look very, very different, as well as the game day uniform cleanings that I mentioned already. We provide band camp and game day meals and snacks. If your family or maybe your company is looking for a way to support our band students, consider, if you'd like, sponsoring a game day meal for the Cavalier Marching Band. Certainly not required or expected, but always appreciated by the students. We provide all band camp and game day transportation. We provide all instruments to our students at no charge, and we also cover repairs on our instruments, assuming that it's regular wear and tear. We provide flip folders and laminated music to all the wind musicians, and we provide foam earplugs to the entire band. So knowing what you know about marching band from high school, you likely know that these items on the screen here add up in cost pretty quickly, and we're grateful to be in a position to provide these items to our students. There are some items that parents and students need to provide. So first, all black athletic shoes, which is, I'll just mention that the band's uniform, whether it's the summer uniform or the game day uniform, every single person is in all black shoes. One of the benefits here is that you and your marcher get to decide what brand of shoe, comfort of shoe, so they can march in Dinkles if they want from high school. They can march in Hoka's, they can march in New Balance, they can march in Nike. It's completely, whatever their comfort level is. Students provide their own black mid-shin crew socks. So the idea is that if they're in our long bibbers, our navy bibbers, and they have a seat, maybe on a break, that when their pants come up, that we don't see anything but black socks, so we continue to look uniform. I would just ask that if as your son or daughter is packing for band camp, just throw a 6-pack of socks into their bag. They'll be good to go. If you're a parent of a single reed player, that's clarinet, alto sax, tenor sax, students are responsible for their own reeds entirely. We do not provide reeds. We do, however, provide mouthpieces, ligatures, and neck straps. That said, students are encouraged to bring their own preferred mouthpiece, ligature, or neck strap, as we can't guarantee that our kind of limited quantities and equipment will match their preferences. We also provide mouthpieces to our brass players, but again, we encourage your student to bring their preferred mouthpiece so that they have what they're used to. All woodwinds, brass, and drumline members are expected to purchase white gloves, which are worn as part of their uniforms. These are purchased through Kappa Kappa Psi for somewhere between $4 and $5 a pair. Your students can Venmo Kappa Kappa Psi once they're on grounds on move-in day, or really anytime, after move-in day. But we have uniform fittings that first Friday night, and it may be top of mind for them to purchase their gloves then. So speaking of Kappa Kappa Psi, we're joined this evening by the president of our Beta Chi chapter of Kappa Kappa Psi, Isabella Gattuso, who's going to tell you a little bit more about our service fraternity and sorority. And Isabella, thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'll hand things over to you and I'll go ahead and progress through your slides when you're ready.
Thank you so much. And that was a really excellent transition. Um, Thank you for allowing us to have the time to speak tonight. Once again, I'm Isabella Gattuso. I'm a rising fourth year in the trombone section, so go Bones. Yeah, and so what Kappa Kappa Psi and Tau Beta Sigma are the two band service fraternities that exist on grounds. As an organization, we engage in public service and performance opportunities. And so the people in our two chapters have the opportunity to have national and district leadership training, university level connection to music, a community of lifetime friends and mentors, and of course, a nationwide network of musicians from all majors. So we are meant to recognize and honor exemplary marchers through the privilege of membership, but as part of our public service oriented role, we also provide a number of things for the band. So this is what also I thought might be important for people to hear. But like just during band camp, we have a number of services that we'll provide for the band, such as we're going to help move-in assistant at all first year dorms, and we'll have people to explain where to go, where to find these amenities, especially if the RA for that dorm hasn't arrived yet. We create a supply bin every year with summer band camp essentials. We get it. People forget things, so if you ever need extra black socks, sunscreen, hats, water bottles, that will all be there. This year we're launching a free spirit wear program. So during that uniform fitting, so students can have Virginia gear. And then if you go back a slide, I'll just run through those really quickly. We also have free popsicles, a buddy study program to help students focus on their academics, safe and fun. So once again, emphasizing that no alcohol involved, completely consensual intersectional bonding activities, and then CMB merchandise. And so the reason I'm here today is because as a way to get some of these CMB orders, um, that's a great question, actually. Yes, we will have two members who previously lived in Brown to help out that day. Yes, so we're here to fundraise today for merchandise. And so if you scan that QR code or if you go to the tiny URL/VA band merch, you can see all of our orders there. And so we will be only selling gloves at the game days, but here you can get Virginia gear. And we will be providing those at all the games except for the first one, just because it's a little too early in the season. But then you can select your preferred sizes, exactly what you want, and we'll have it ready for you. And we accept check, Venmo, and we're getting a credit card after Bandcamp because thank you, Square. But that's all I have to say. I'll stick around until the end of the presentation to answer any questions. And if you are curious about anything on the student side of band, I'd be happy to answer them as well. But otherwise, thank you again, band directors. Yeah, this was awesome.
Thanks for joining us, Isabella. We appreciate you. I was just going through the chat for a moment. I had a chance to answer a couple and was typing out a response here. The question from Andrew Dillon, will you be providing moving assistance at Brown College? The idea is that we have the entire band's returners and student leaders who take on an all hands on deck mentality to help their new members move in from 12:30 to 3. So there's nothing else going on at that point. What I've articulated to the student leaders as of 2 nights ago was, make sure that you're putting finishing touches on your move-in assignments so that you can reach out to all new members, know where they need to move in, know where you can provide a little bit of help from returners. What I wouldn't expect is 5 or 6 people to help, but there's probably going to be 1 or 2 people there to help sometime between the 12:30 to 3 block. I also asked that they reach out like immediately this week to ensure that like if you guys are arriving late or if you're arriving at 2 and we kind of have to focus on an expedited move-in, that they have that information. Great question about parents staying in the dorm to help unpack. I am not someone who can make that decision. I don't work for Housing Residence Life. So I won't say one way or the other. What I will say is that students should not begin to unpack once they've immediately dropped their things off. They have assignments over at the band building starting at 3. They will have plenty of time to unpack that evening and throughout the course of the week. All right, let's briefly talk about safety on grounds. So last year, UVA launched a new app. It's called the UVA Ready app, which is available in your app store. I would encourage you to talk to your band member about downloading this app before they get to grounds. Now, they can access 911 in an emergency. They can contact the police non-emergency line. They can report harassment or assault through Just Report It. They can learn about various emergency procedures, request a safe walk, or even send an I'm okay alert to selected contacts of their choice. And I believe, having just looked around this app today, I think that they can set up you all as parents as a contact to receive a that's okay message in the event of an emergency. If you'd like to learn more about the Office of Emergency Management, this QR code on the screen or link will take you to OEM's website. There you can read about the UVA alert system, but also find out more about emergency plans and procedures, our extensive AED program. And by the way, that includes an AED that's located at Cars Hill Field where the band practices, and the other available training programs that we have through OEM. And then the last thing I will mention about safety tonight is that all members of the public can sign up to receive UVA alerts. The UVA alerts that we receive on grounds often require authentication through the UVA system. So if you're a member of the public and you're not a staff, faculty, or student who's part of our UVA system with authentication credentials, you wouldn't be able to get alerts through that system. My understanding is that there's a lot of duplicity between what goes out to the public alerts as well as what we receive on grounds. Your students, if there's an emergency, they'll automatically receive a notification on their computer. If they've signed up and they've opted in for text alerts, they'll get a text alert. You all, as public community members, can text UVA to 226787, and you'll be signed up for those public alerts as well. Okay, let's talk about preparing for band camp. First, if your child takes prescription medication, I know you've got a lot that you're thinking about right now with the move next week. I wanted to share some information about 2 of the pharmacies that our students have told us that they prefer to use. The first is the pharmacy at the Student Health Center, and their location and contact information is there on the screen for you. The QR code, I feel like tonight I'm just hounding you guys with QR codes. I apologize, but that QR code will take you to their website. And then you'll hear students refer to this part of grounds called the corner frequently over the next 4 years. There are various shops and restaurants in that location. There's also a CVS with the pharmacy, and it's located very close to the academical village, and it's probably one of the closest CVS or Walgreens-esque type stores closest to the band building. So I also wanted to mention that to you as well, since one of our former drum majors mentioned that to me today. Sorry, going backward. There we go. All right, let's talk about a few things that they will need to pack and bring to band camp. Obviously, their student ID, we talked about that. The black athletic shoes and the black crew mid-calf socks. Going a little bit deeper into this list, a tight or compression style light colored undershirt. It can be short sleeve, it can be long sleeve, it's up to them. The idea is that they can wear this the day that we are putting on the full uniform and going to take the photo at the rotunda. It's really easy for that morning to be extremely hot. And we are in the direct sun for probably about 30 to 45 minutes. And we won't have a uniform cleaning between the rotunda photo and the first game. So this just allows for their uniforms to be as fresh as possible. Please help ensure that they pack plenty of comfortable athletic attire that they can rehearse in. Think light colors to reflect heat. If you have a band member who loves to wear black, I love to wear black, but I won't wear it in August in the sun, please discourage them from only bringing dark colors to camp. Bring between 5 and 7 pairs of athletic shorts. 5 to 7 comfortable shirts, right? Like they're not going to have time to do laundry. So help set them up for success by packing a whole week's worth of athletic attire, moisture wicking, etc. Please help them remember a large water bottle with their name, first and last name marked somewhere on the water bottle. Also, whether or not they are a hat person, they should be a hat person the week of band camp. Um, Pack sunscreen, pack additional athletic shoes that they can rehearse in. If you are from Virginia or close by, you know that the weather this time of year can go from very hot and humid and sunny to torrential rain in a matter of minutes. And if we haven't gotten them off the field and into a building fast enough, we can have really wet shoes very, very fast. No one wants to march in wet shoes once we come back outside. So it's helpful to have a second pair. Along the lines of rain, please either pack like an emergency poncho for them that they can pull out if they need, or if you have a rain jacket that they can bring, that's great as well. All right, let's talk about early arrivals. So some of your band members will be arriving earlier than August 15th because they have color guard and drumline pre-camps. So if your marcher is in color guard or drumline, this slide does apply to you. If they're not in color guard or drumline, this slide does not apply to you. You are able to move into the graduate hotel on Monday, August 11th, as their pre-camps start on August 12th, the morning of August 12th. The hotel is located at 1309 West Main Street. I mentioned that corner area just a few moments ago. This hotel is essentially on the corner. It's a very close walk, and we're very intentional about choosing the graduate to put our students in because of the proximity, because it's a pretty safe area, and it gets them as close to Newcomb Dining Hall for breakfast, lunch, and dinner as possible, instead of having them at a hotel that's further away that necessitates transportation. Check-in on Monday, August 11th is from 6 to 8 p.m. One of our 5 drum majors will welcome you and your marcher into the lobby. Checkout is on Friday, August 15th at 9 a.m. So you may be thinking to yourself, I already took off work on Monday. Do I have to come back on Friday to check them out and get them in the dorm? It's entirely up to you. But again, we have a large leadership team in the color guard, a very large leadership team in the drumline. The students will take care of your members. So if you can't get back, we will have them taken care of. I am very positive of that. One thing I do want to note, we do not provide parking at the graduate. So if you've had a conversation with your marcher, hey, I'm going to leave a car with you for the week or two, and then I'll come back and get it. They are welcome to park at the graduate if spaces are available, but they need to pay for the parking there. We do not provide parking at the graduate. We do, however, provide parking free of charge at the Culbreth parking garage, which is basically adjacent to the Hunter Smith Band building. So if your student's driving, check into the graduate, unload the valuables into the room, then move the car to the Culbreth parking garage. Don't leave any valuables in the car itself. All right, and then for everyone, early move-in to the dorms on August 15th. So we're getting close to wrapping up here, but let's talk about August 15th a little bit more granularly. Garden Drumline students will move into their dorms during that 9 to 11:30 block. In the live schedule, that this says this is for returning members. They're already on ground, so we're kind of treating them like returning members, so they'll move in that first block. For everyone else who's arriving to Charlottesville that day, your dorm move-in is from 12. Sorry, I shouldn't say 12. It's from 12:30 to 2:50. So your members' section leaders have likely already been in touch to coordinate helping them move in quickly and easily. And I just want to emphasize again, they're dropping their belongings off and then they're headed to the band building. From 3 to 4:15, while your students are going through this really exciting welcoming tradition that our students do, and I don't want to give away too much about that, we are holding an optional parents meeting where we have a chance to meet you in person. We'll share some additional details about the season. And then after that, you as parents are welcome to grab a bite of dinner downtown or anywhere you'd like before you head home. We try to wrap up any parental responsibilities early enough so you still have several hours of daylight to drive home safely. And then camp officially kicks off the morning of Saturday, August 16th. And you can keep up with the band by checking the live schedule if you wish, or you just buy a ticket to the game on the 30th and come celebrate your band members' first game. I do want to give you a high level view so you know what they're in for, what is coming. This is based on a schedule that we have refined year over year over year. We know that this system works, but it does move pretty quickly. All right. So on August 16th and 17th, that's Saturday, Sunday, their drill leaders will teach them how the Cavalier Marching Band moves and marches. The Cavalier Marching Band represents between 120 and 130 different high school band experiences, and all of them were correct. We have a way that we move that works for us, and we want to make sure that we give new members time to work on those marching fundamentals so that they can apply that to every single halftime show as well as the pregame show. Speaking of the pregame show, that weekend, August 16th and 17th, we start learning the pregame show drill, the music choreography, um, and they have music sectionals and full rehearsals. We will always prioritize getting them inside during the hottest part of the day, so they're out of the UV and in air conditioning. There will be about a 45-minute block in the afternoons when we're going outside to go to full music arcs, but we're limiting that for obvious reasons. On August 18th and 19th, that's Monday, Tuesday, they continue learning the pregame show drill, music, and choreography, and begin learning our long and short stand tunes and visuals choreography. So that flip folder full of music that I mentioned earlier has about 35 songs in it. Songs that range from 10 seconds, think like the first down tag that you hear so that you can yell, "Go Hoos!" after we play, all the way to like a 2.5 minute ants marching by the Dave Matthews Band. So we have quite a bit of music that's long and short, and we have to learn that starting on the 18th and 19th. Wednesday, August 20th, man, it's such a fun day. They're in the stadium all day long. They meet the Cavalier on horseback, Julie Caruccio, and the horse who's named Chispa, and then they practice the pregame show in the stadium. They'll learn what's called the Wahoo Walk, which is when we bring the team in. We march the team into the stadium on game day when they arrive on buses. They have some required trainings with the Office of EOCR and the Gordy Center. And then that evenings they rehearse in the stands so that they're ready for the first game. I think that Coach Elliott is coming to meet them that evening. So we'll pause and let him say a few words. And then they have a pool night at the AFC, at the Aquatic Fitness Center. So it should be fun. I think everyone will sleep very, very well that night. Next, on Thursday, the 21st, that's the Rotunda Photo Day. So it's a really exciting day, especially for new members. It's the first time they get to put on the full Cavalier Marching Band uniform, take a photo as a full band, and then we give them like the next hour to just take photos with their friends. So on Thursday, the 21st, by about 11, you should be getting like 50 photos of them in full uniform. And if by 1 you haven't gotten any, you should text them and be like, "Hey, I want to see some photos of you in uniform." That afternoon, we are focusing on getting them ready for an awesome performance, their first public performance at the Farmington Country Club. The Farmington Country Club, it's this very beautiful space. It's about 4 or 5 miles west of town. They'll perform for about an hour in their summer uniform, and then they have this wonderful dinner, seated dinner in the big dining rooms afterward. And then once we're done around 9, they'll be able to either go back to the dorm if they want to catch up on sleep, or they can go to the band building for like a movie and crafts night. And then on Friday, the 22nd, when they're a little gassed, a little tired, we start learning the first halftime show. We give them all their music for the first show, all the drill for their first show, since they haven't been able to find a printer yet. And we learn the first half of that first show. It's about 3 minutes of music, drill, and choreography. And then they have a second performance that evening. That's a performance called Welcome to the Fourth Side in Scott Stadium for the entire incoming first year class. So they will perform for all of their peers who are living next door to them in the dorms, who just moved in the day before or that day. And they'll perform for about 4,000, 4,500 people. Parents often ask if they can support the CMB, and the answer is yes, absolutely, but it's never expected. But I did want to give you a little bit of information here. should you be interested in supporting the band. Every gift to the Cavalier Marching Band makes a difference, no matter the size. Annual support from donors help to offset the cost of educational materials. What does that look like for us? Educational materials are the custom shows, the custom music, the custom drill, the choreography, the rights to arrange the music. All of that is part of this package of what we call the educational materials. The uniform cleanings, the game day expenses such as meals or snacks or liquids, student wages. We employ a significant number of students who work hourly for us. It not only helps them out, but it's a huge help to us as well to have their knowledge and their energy go toward helping the band be ready for game days, meals, and other expenses. So if you're interested in supporting the band through a one-time gift or a recurring gift, you're welcome to visit our website or email us at bands@virginia.edu for more information. And then I also want to take a moment to tell you about the Evan and Dennison Memorial Scholarship Fund, especially as time continues to pass and fewer of our students and families have had a direct relationship with Evan. This was established in early 2024 by Evan's parents, Kim and Kevin. Just after Evan graduated in 2023, we lost Evan in a car accident up in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Evan marched in the band for 4 years as a trumpet player and a drum major and was described by his peers as a true once in a lifetime friend. Scholarships given in his memory are awarded through a peer nomination process, which is what Evan's parents felt would have most resonated with him. It's a way for band members to honor his memory and acknowledge the current members in the band who have the same values that Evan did. He was described as someone who was remarkably kind, generous with his time and his heart. He was one of the most attentive listeners that you will ever meet. He had a habit of having a fun conversation with you, and then a month later, he would give you a handwritten note that reflected on that conversation, and he would have drawn a little drawing in the corner based on that conversation. I literally have one on my refrigerator right now. If you'd like to learn more about Evans Memorial Scholarship Fund or support his fund, you can do so on our website. And then one last thing before we take your questions. Friends, this is an extremely obvious statement to everyone here, but band is loud. We provide foam earplugs to the band. However, some students like having their own pair of earplugs. We provide about 5,000 pair over the course of a season, but some students just want their own that they can keep track of. So Dr. Cook has been working with high fidelity earplugs to secure a special rate for CMB students. So if you'd like to order a pair of earplugs on behalf of your students, again, completely optional, not necessary. We're happy to provide your student with foam earplugs, but if you'd like to order a pair for them, follow this QR code. They're marked down from 28 or 28.50 a pair to 16.50. If you order them by Wednesday, the 20th of August, they will be mailed to us at the band building, and then we will distribute them to your marchers as soon as they arrive. And we can all thank Dr. Cook for arranging that option for everyone in the CMB. Now, I will mention one thing. If you choose to purchase these earplugs on behalf of your student when you're going through the payment process, please include your student's name, not your name, when purchasing.